Four financial words that people use all the time but rarely understand. So I'm walking into the room the other day where my wife was happily doing a puzzle, and I said, "Babe, I've got a financial nerd question for you." She looks up dryly and says, "I bet this is going to be a riveting conversation." And I asked her, "What are some of the financial words that people use all the time but rarely understand?" She had a couple of good ideas that I fleshed out and wanted to share with you. My name's Matthew Angel, certified financial planner and financial advisor of Angel Legacy Advisors. And you're here on the Wealth with Wisdom channel. So I want to start us off with scripture, Proverbs 12:15. The way of the fool seems right to him, the wise listen to advice. We're going to pair that up with Ecclesiastes 7:12, which is wisdom preserves those that have it. So I always start with scripture because I don't always assume that I'm the wise one because I might be the foolish one. And so the way of the fool seems right to him, but the wise listen to advice is really a good one for me because I always want to check what I think is right by listening to the counsel of others. And as a financial counselor, sometimes I'm on the delivering end of that, and I want to deliver things to you that are grounded in wisdom. Because if we can get it into your plan and into your life, it helps preserve you that habit. So, four financial words people use all the time but rarely understand. Coming up, number one, retirement. Retirement. Oh my gosh, what people think. They think it's an age. They say, if I reach the age of retirement. Number two, they'll think, well, it's the day that I stop working. Maybe it means for others, the moment in time when I can do what I want and I can fire off that email to my boss that says, I'm out of here. Or maybe you're in mid career and you're thinking, retirement's that thing that's kind of off in the distance that I don't really want to look at, but I know I'm supposed to be preparing for. It can mean a lot of different things. What it actually means, retirement is the date in which your money and your assets can reliably support your life without having to rely on a paycheck. It's not a date, okay? It's going to be a combination of a math problem as well as a heart and lifestyle problem. Why this matters. Retirement is really can be described as maybe the last third of your life. And moving into that season takes thought, care, consideration, decisions, and hopefully good guidance. Word number two, return on investment. Oh man, what do people think this is? They think it's, did I make money on this or not? Is the number green or is the number red on my statement? Return on investment is really just simply asking, what did I put in? What did I get out? And how long did it take? If you are working with a financial professional, somebody in my industry, it can be very easy sometimes to be led astray, or even, the human heart, we can deceive ourselves pretty easily. If you're looking at a return on an investment vehicle, it needs to really have three things in there. Number one, it needs to have the amount that it went up or down. Number two, the time over which that return was earned. And number three, some sort of measure of risk. Okay. The third one, humans are not very good at that. We can think, well, I bought a rent house and I made 30 grand over that rent house in a year. You don't really know how much risk you took on that rent house based on a lot of different factors could affect how much risk, be it the place that you got the property, the tenants that you have, how big the numbers are, how small the numbers are, what market you're in. There's a whole bunch of things that involve risk. But you want to make sure that you're not comparing the return of a rent house to the return of a weekend in Las Vegas betting on the slot machines, which is going to be a much different level of risk. Word number three, IRA. IRA or IRA. It's just a symbol or it's a Let's get my words together. IRA is an abbreviation for individual retirement account. IRA. What people think it means, an IRA is an investment. What it actually means, it's a wrapper. Okay. IRA is just a descriptor of the type of account that you have that is a tax container. It doesn't really tell how your money to grow or not grow. It's just going to change how that money is taxed later. Why this matters: you can have a good IRA and still be invested poorly. The wrapper helps. So it's really, you can think of it as a garage, right? So you're going to have a garage, maybe you have multiple bays in the garage. That's your IRA, your account. Inside of that garage can be different types of vehicles. You could have a really fast, really risky Formula One NASCAR fast car in there, or you could have a super safe tank inside of it. No, maybe not a tank. Tank wouldn't fit in your garage. An old school 1980s Suburban that is built like a tank could be in your garage. That's the IRA. Number four, the market. Oh, I hear the market. The market's doing this. The market's doing that. People think the market is one thing. It's either up or it's down, it's good or it's bad. It just kind of reflects how everyone is doing. Sometimes they'll even use the word market interchangeably with the economy. Those are two very different things. What the market is one of the most complex things that human beings have ever created. So being able to describe it in one, 12-second news clip, the market is up 7% today. It's not really doable. What they're describing most of the time is they're describing different indexes of the market. So what is the market? The market's going to be a collection of companies, businesses that are broadly based in different types of stocks, or you could be talking about a bond market, you could be talking about a housing market. There's a bunch of different things that it could be describing. Most commonly being described is indexes like the S&P 500, the Dow Jones, the NASDAQ, are several indexes that get described fairly commonly as a bit of a indicator for what is going on in the investing world. It's kind of like saying, how's the weather doing today? Well, it depends on what you're talking about, where you're talking about it. So why this is important to you: when people say the market is down, your individual portfolio may or may not be. Understanding what you specifically own matters a lot more than the broad general headlines that are out there. Hopefully this is helpful to you. Understanding what words are being used is really, really important, particularly if you're ever working with a financial professional, somebody that's in my industry. Be wise as they are talking. If they're using jargon that you've kind of heard of and you kind of have an idea of, slow them down and say, what are you talking about? What is an IRA? What is capital gains? This is what my statement says. What do these words mean? A very good financial professional is going to have the heart of a teacher that wants you to understand what you have, not so much to try to dazzle you with lots of financial jargon. If you ever run into that, just turn and walk the other direction, because true wisdom is willing to slow down to explain. A good financial professional has such a grasp on the idea that they can teach it to you in a way that's meaningful to you, and most importantly, how it fits into your plan. Because all these different words are somewhat irrelevant if they don't fall into what is important to you, helping you get to the goals that are important to you and your family. If you're interested in talking with somebody, you want to check out my company. It's angellegacyadvisors.com to learn more about my company if you're wanting individual help. Hopefully these tips help you in your journey. Thanks so much and have a great day.